What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action, spawning in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Matreiuss. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. The map, Blue Lagoon, everyone's favorite map. This is such a staple, such a staple of Age of Mythology. I don't know, this isn't an original map. This is a fan-made map, but it's just everything I want in an Age of Mythology game and more. It's got really cool layout with the cliffs over here, nice forests on the map so you can actually wall in. It's not too open, but it's not too closed. There's good hunt on the map. Gold mines are fairly well positioned, and you can get really safe gold mines out on the edge of the map, and you can get really dangerous gold mines towards the middle of the map. Town centers are generally very safe as well. You get a great amount of relics on the map here with Gungnir, Odin's Spear. Obviously going to be different every single different map you get. Again, that melee attack damage in the middle of the map here. We've also got where is it? Chariot of Sybil here with a pair of golden lions. That's such a good relic there as well. On this position, we've got the scales of Catoplopas with the minus 15% vulnerability to pierce attacks. And at the top of the map here, we do have that Ankh of Ra giving a little bit of favor trickle. This is a really big relic for Norse players, especially a Norse player that might want to be going for early favor upgrades to get some sort of advantage. So we'll see if Matreiuss is going to be going for that anytime soon or not, as the dwarves going to be popping out of the town center, coming over onto the gold mine, and yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see how this one's gonna go. This has been a matchup that I've thrown my hands up at. I'm like, I kind of understand what the Ra player wants to do here, but for the Norse player, especially the Loki player, if I'm playing as Odin, I feel like I've got a little bit more advantage here than Loki because I've got access to Ragnarok, and Ragnarok Fire Giants can be enough to kind of play around some stuff. Obviously, you've also got Hell with Loki, which do actually access those Fire Giants as well, but for whatever reason, I'm a little bit up in arms about this one. And the reason for that is the recent buff to Ptah. To Ptah Slingers in particular. Electron bullets giving divine damage. And what does this actually mean? Well, Slingers having divine damage means that they are going to be doing 1 damage against Ballista. Whereas if they didn't have that, Ballista's pierce armor is quite high, and it would actually take quite a while for a whole bunch of Slingers to kill off Ballista. And when I think about it, I go, if I see a whole bunch of barracks units as a Norse player, I want to spam out Ballista. And then I'm going to be able to kill off those units because they're not going to be able to approach the Ballista. But if I just have a whole bunch of Slingers with one divine damage, they will actually kill off those Ballista very quickly. So, yes. That's what we're talking about. That's the big challenge. Nonetheless, we are seeing Ptah coming through here for Kimo, and Matreiuss coming through here with Forseti. Matreiuss and Forseti coming here for Matreiuss. Now, if anybody can show how to get an advantage or how to play this matchup, Matreiuss is the one. He's got, I would say, the most intelligent Loki out of anyone I've ever seen, and that also includes the goats, like not like Magic and Mr. playing Norse. I think Matreiuss has got one of the most intelligent Norses. He always plays a really safe, calculated Norse game. So we'll see how things are going to go. Meanwhile, on this position, we do have the villager over here with the Berserk and the Lions. And Kimo says, oh. Town center, village center in the main base. We have a question here from I'm Tussle. Does divine damage not mean that it ignores armor? Yes, that's exactly what divine damage means. Divine damage ignores armor, which basically means, that's what I was saying, is like when the Ballista has got only 85 HP, and if I've got like 40 Slingers out, I'm going to be able to basically almost 2-hit or 3-hit a Ballista. And that's kind of a big deal because the Ballista should stay alive for a lot longer against a whole bunch of archers. And it's a really great way for Norse to deal with mass archers. But the other thing is when you go through Balder, you do get access to Sons of Slipnir, which does allow your raiding cavalry to actually kill off those slingers. So that's why I was saying I'm in a bit of a loss here for Loki. I finally got there. The point has been made. It took me a while to get there, where 5 minutes, 30 seconds into the game, as the second town center is getting dropped here for Matreiuss, but we finally got here. Did Matreiuss notice the village center? Yes, he does. And we see 3 barracks coming up, and Kimo is going to start looking to be very, very aggressive here. Now, this is starting to become more and more standard. This is something I was kind of doing, but I was actually going for a regular town center rather than a village center. I think you can get this village center up, or this regular town center up, against any civilization with the correct build order, but Kimo preferring to play a little bit more safely is probably the wrong word, but a little bit more randomly in the build order. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but Axeman now starting to move across the map, and we do have ourselves a town center up for Matreiuss. And now Matreiuss, he's going to be showing us how to play a defensive 2-town center Norse game. He's going to be up against Axemen, Spearmen, Slingers. The Barracks army is the scariest thing for Norse players to deal with in Age of Mythology Retold. And this is going to be very, very instructive here. As the walls coming up here, this is very important. One big weakness to the Egyptian army is their pushing power is much, much weaker than everyone else. They've got much lower base damage. You can see the Axemen here, only 5 attack hit, and all the good stuff is going to be very, very difficult here for Kimo to push through all the good town centers and everything, as we do see here. Incomplete ox cart getting taken down there. And Matreiuss is just going to be attempting to slow Kimo down, and the units can now swing over here onto this gold mine, as the wall's going to be coming up over here to defend that gold mine nicely, and Kimo's going to have to get back. Now, one thing here for Kimo is he does have a decent amount of information about this bottom side of the map, but he's got no idea what's on the top side of the map here just yet. And while Matreiuss hasn't kind of gone up there just yet, he is basically safe to do so and start getting walls and everything else over there, and making his life nice and safe and fun. As the dwarves here going to get an ox cart up and enjoy this gold mine. And these walls over here need to be finished as fast as possible for Matreiuss. See, I'm just going to be waiting in the center of the map here, as Kimo needs to think, all right, do I go fast heroic here? Do I spam out units and try and pressure? What do I do is the big question. We'll have to wait and see what Kimo's going to go for. But one thing that Matreiuss needs to be aware of is that he doesn't actually have a good usage of flaming weapons against Ra, against Ptah. Reason is Shifting Sands. Shifting Sands is a great counter to flaming weapons. As the unit's going to be retreating back, we do see an armory coming up over here for Matreiuss. So if that's the case, if you can't really use flaming weapons, maybe your best bet here is to go through Njord for Matreiuss. And there might be something in Njord, and I'm not talking about Ringgiver, but I'm talking about Jotuns. Could be an idea to make a whole bunch of Jotuns here, which is the mountain giant, the upgraded mountain giant, to get an advantage over the really, really weak priests of Ra. We'll have to wait and see what he's going to go for. As you do have a market up, he can buy some food if he wants to get to the next age. We'll see what's going to happen here, as Kimo is still massing units out. He's spending all of his resources. He's getting himself that electron bullets right away. More axemen coming through. He's also getting that scalloped axe upgrade. Still searching around for something to attack here. No watchtowers up in the main base. These villagers might need to retreat back in here. And we see Bragi is the god of choice here for Matreiuss. So it's going to have to be a little bit careful with all of that, as the army going to slowly start sneaking forward here. Villagers pulling back into the main base to jump onto those goats, but great disengagement there with that troll. But Matreiuss needs to be careful here not to get too caught out. Those slingers are going to be very, very strong. As Matreiuss turns around, gets a little bit of damage done with those thrown axemen. And Kimo here, I mean, he's kind of caught out in a way with this army. We see a great haul coming up. A couple more units getting popped out here for Kimo as well. As Matreiuss going to be pulling back. And Kimo going to start breaking down this wall over here. These dwarves might need to pull off of this location, so they do decide to do so. Though that being said, I'm fairly sure Kimo's army at this point on this position here, I think Matreiuss wins that fight. But I think maybe he wants to wait for a battle ball first, might be the better idea. we'll wait and see what the plan is next here for Matreiuss. He's playing so absurdly defensive at the moment. Villager differential is 50 to 50, even though there's an actual town center up for Matreiuss. He does fall behind by 75 seconds of villager production time by going to the heroic age, whereas Kimo hasn't, so he will gain that villager lead back when Kimo clicks up. But yeah, that's surprising to me a little bit as the dwarves pulling back over here. They are going to get chased down. He's got a nice retreat path through that wall over there as the units do get sort of spread out. We've got a wall coming back up onto this position to prevent the units from coming through here. Great play from Matreiuss. Kimo getting caught out in a really, really big way here. But can Matreiuss actually win this fight? Does he have that battle ball? He needs that battle ball in here. Flaming weapons going to be getting dropped down. Shifting sands is available here. Kimo does manage to get out of there. He retreats out, gets the army out. That's gone. Flaming weapons is out of here. Great play from Kimo. That's exactly what we were talking about. You can't click flaming weapons, really, as the Loki player defensively. You can only really use it offensively to kill off whatever units are on that position to claim that spot there. Is Matreiuss now trying to push forward. He needs to not overcommit with these units. He does not quite have enough to take the fight here, as he will be pulling back. Battle boards still coming through. Now we're starting to see some Jarls coming in for Matreiuss as well. This is a unit that I think I have thrown in the bin. I'm not going to build this Jarl against against Egyptian ever again. Even with Ring Giver Jarls, I don't think it's that useful. I'd much rather get those raiding cavalry out and attempt to get a surround. If I get multiple like a lot of raiding cavalry in with good amount of thrown axemen, I'm going to be able to surround those slingers, and I think that's the kind of the best way to play. The problem with the Jarls is they just don't quite trade well enough for their cost. They're very expensive at 50, 80 here. So Dwarf's going to be coming back onto this position. Villagers moving forward here for Kimo. Is he going for a... He is. He's going for the town center. Convert into Berserks here would be the best play for Matreiuss. He's got a decent amount of resources in the bag. He goes for that conversion there. Medium Berserks coming in. He's going to be able to get a huge amount of damage onto those villagers. What is Kimo thinking right now? As the army pushes forward, those Jarls will be doing decently. We see a Valkyrie spawn in the center of the map here as the Berserks are going to be charging through there to take out those Slingers. Kimo going to be doing the micro to be attempting to take out as many of these units as he possibly can. He does not yet have that Slings of the Sun tech, so those Berserks going to be able to stay alive for a much longer time here as the Jarls push forward. But are they fast enough? 4.8 speed at the moment is going to be decent. I don't think that Matreiuss has got himself that Hall of Thanes technology just yet, but Matreiuss does manage to clean up a lot of units here. Will he have enough after this is the big question to keep producing stuff. He's going to have to retreat back. Those Jarls going to be pulling away. Kimo holds, but he loses a lot of villagers, but so too does Matreiuss at the end of that one. It's still advantage Matreiuss in terms of villagers here, but he's going to be struggling for the units moving forward in this one as the villagers do dive into the gold mine up at this top position here. Matreiuss does have a gold mine getting grabbed for the time being as the hill fort's going to come down, and this will be a little bit of breath of fresh air for Matreiuss. A little bit of a defensive structure that's actually going to really, really help him out here. As Kimo now, he's still not advancing to the next stage. He's nearly got the food. He has clicked that rain up through at the moment as the villagers are going to be sneaking over onto this gold mine here. And the Slinger's going to be searching around for something to attack up to the top position there as this thrown axeman does end up getting taken down. Slinger raids are very, very scary here as the Norse player because you can't really defend against them with anything other than throwing axemen. Getting that Hall of Thanes technology in would be really, really big as those villagers here will recognize that spearmen are after them. He's got to bring those throwing axemen around the other side here, though he's not actually managing to do that. As we do see a villager or two getting sniped down. The throwing axemen are over here as well to catch those spearmen out. Great control here from Matreiuss. Great awareness of the villagers, keeping those nice and alive there. As more houses coming down, still trying to get himself back up the population here to defend against the Kimo spammage of those spearmen everywhere. As now the throw-in axemen will be able to take out those spearmen very, very nicely. Great distraction here from Matreiuss and great little trade as we're seeing some slingers come through though. And this could be enough to catch Matreiuss out of position. He's got to be careful to avoid those slingers. Force speed versus force speed as the army going to be coming through here. We've got some Huskal in onto the back position as the slingers are not focusing down the right unit here. We see a frost giant spawn here. It's going to be absolutely huge on this one as the slingers finally turning around, starting to take those throwing axemen down. Matreiuss cleans up all the slingers. He's playing this one remarkably well at the moment as the spearmen over here coming through. Throwing axemen are in position to get a lot of kills onto this one, but the villagers will end up getting targeted down here nonetheless as the villagers here for Matt. Oh, great control. That was such a good decision there from Matreiuss. He ran at his throwing axemen instead of away from the slingers. He ran towards the slingers to get those throwing axemen to be able to continue to chase nicely there. As now Matreiuss getting himself up that third town center for the time being. Spearmen coming down onto the bottom side of the map looking for the villager kills. There is a really, really nice tower and line of sight here for Matreiuss as the villagers will have to pull off of this one. It's been a little bit slow here to retreat, and now he does pull, but still no damage as the spearmen are still just scouting around on the bottom side of the map. We are seeing that scouting coming in as well. But at the moment now, Matreiuss has got 3 town centers. He's got the economic advantage in a big way, but he's got to be careful. I've seen many Norse players losing in any position at any time against the Ra, against the Ra might. And what can Kimo do at this point, which is very, very scary? Shifting Sands. Shifting Sands is back up. Oh, never mind. He spent all that favor. I don't know what I was looking at. I thought I saw 50 favor in the bank. He doesn't have it, so there's nothing on the way just yet. There's throwing axemen coming through. Throwing axemen are very, very good against those spearmen. As you can look at the damage. They do so much. And all those spearmen will end up getting taken down. Great play here from Matreiuss. Still defending beautifully at the moment. As we see heavy spearmen, slings of the sun, the ballistics coming through. Is it the case that this is an infantry unit? It is, man. Those slingers just get so strong, so quickly against the Norse army. As Matreiuss tries to push forward, I think Matreiuss should be trying to get to the Mythic Age. He is. We are seeing Horus coming through as well, though, which is going to be really, really tough to deal with. Matreiuss pulling back, still not wanting to take a proper fight just yet. We are seeing some raiding cavalry coming through. Herdmen also coming in an effort to take out those camel riders. How many military buildings does Matreiuss have? 5 longhouses, 3 great halls. I know you've heard me say this a million times, but I'm going to keep saying it. This is not enough. This is not enough military buildings, and I love that this is what's going on over here for Matreiuss. One dude just building buildings, that needs to be what you're doing for the entirety of the game. How are the armory upgrades looking at the moment? As the army here moving forward, got full copper for both players. Full first line upgrades, and that's it. As the army here for Matreiuss sneaking around onto the side, going after these units, catching Kimo out, but Kimo's got the higher ground here. There's not really a bonus to be had there as the Nidhogg does drop down onto this position, straight onto those slingers. They're going to be using that special ability, flying away, screwed up the usage of that Nidhogg there. Yet again, we see a Loki player not quite understanding how that Nidhogg works, but Mythic Age is now in for Kimo. More units coming in, and we are going to be seeing a tornado getting dropped down onto the front here. We'll take out the hill fort, potentially also take out the town center, as well as the fire giants moving forward here. Population differential still very, very close. 3,000 resources apiece here, as I'm not exactly sure who is coming out in front on this. Town center ends up falling. We see another flaming weapons coming through as well for Matreiuss as the Nidhogg coming back in, but those priests are still very much alive and well as the So Nidhogg needs to find a different place to attack. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, we do see a good raid coming through there. Does the Nidhogg have that special ability? No, it doesn't. And Matreiuss has possibly overcommitted on this fight. Yes, he's still got that flaming weapons, but he just does not have the units to make this one work just yet. Lots and lots of throw and action coming through. Lots of resources in the bank. But in the end, just not quite enough to break through Kimo's army. And Kimo is going to be surviving another day. Meanwhile, Nidhogg does end up going down. And I know what you guys are going to say. Nidhogg just not that strong. But in reality here, that was just a really, really poorly placed Nidhogg. But a Fire Giant spawn on this position, going to immediately target down those Slingers on the back, but immediately gets targeted down by the Priest. Priests are picking off myth units very quickly as we see the town center attempting to come back up here. But Matreiuss, he's now on the back foot. Matreiuss, he's now only got 1.2k military. And why does he only have 1.2k military at the moment? Look at all of those numbers in the cube. That's literally the reason. If he had 10 longhouses right now, he would have all of those units out already. Instead, he's queuing them up, and he's not able to build them back up. This is the hardest part about playing Norse. I'm saying it, and it's really, really difficult to make this happen, but you've got to be on your game when playing against Egyptian because they've got the spam. Right now, Kimo, he's only got 7 military buildings, but all of his units train so quickly that you only need that many, especially when you get the conscripts and levy upgrades to boot. But Fire Giants, Jarls, throwing Axemen coming through as well. Still not making those raiding cavalry, which is it's a little bit surprising, to be honest. I think the raiding cavalry is slightly better than those Jarls just because they've got the speed to get in and engage. So if you've got like 20 Jarls out, you can spread them out into 2 groups of 10 and you can get on and engage really nicely. As you do see a cheeky little Great Hall has been spotted. Villager's going to be able to shank that one down. There is a Migdol stronghold over here. And this is actually the last gold mine here for Kimo. So Matreiuss can hold out in this game if possible. If it is possible for him to hold out here for 6,000 gold, he will find himself a very, very good position here. I wouldn't mind seeing Kimo starting up a trade route. He's got the town center over here. Where's the best trade route? There isn't a good one for him. Over in this corner, down to this market over here. That's the only real decent position. As we see another hill fort coming up on this spot here. Kimo's now starting to push forward. Spearman getting a little bit of damage. He sees the town center coming up. This Axeman, throwing Axeman, going to immediately start targeting down here. And with those throwing Axeman picking off those Spearmen so nicely, he's going to be able to get in very, very shortly. He needs a ton of raiding cavalry. Look at this army. A ton of priests, plus the Pharaoh, plus the Slingers. The answer to this army is like 30 raiding cavalry. How many Great Halls does he have? He's got himself 4 Great Halls. It's not enough. Not enough. We'll see if we can make it happen, though. We can just wait. There's always an option to just wait and get your units out as well. It's a Fire Giant coming through. Going to get a little bit of damage done onto those... I say a little bit of damage. He gets a huge amount of damage done onto those Spearmen there. Wait, do they have... Oh, my God. He's got Burning Pitch. Burning Pitch Slingers is now in, and this is very, very disgusting. They do so much damage. Burning Pitch Slingers. Absolutely insane. Going to be able to take down those hill forts so quickly here. Another hill fort coming up over here for Matreiuss as the cavalry... I mean, he still doesn't have enough. I hate to say it. He still doesn't have enough. Villagers getting pushed off of this position over here. And a Migdol going to come down straight in the middle to grab this gold mine. This is what we were talking about, where Matreiuss can just kind of wait this one out. He's now going to be at full population, so he might be able to win this fight. How are the armory upgrades looking? Nearly full bronze versus nearly full bronze. Both players still very, very close here in this one. So we're also going to be seeing heavy axemen coming through. The army of Matreiuss deciding to take the fight here. Troll spawning in the center of the map here. Going to be picking up that big stone, throwing it at that army. Going to be hitting those units away. Fire Giant on the back does get taken out, but it looks like Matreiuss is able to push through and absolutely clean the army of Kimo. Kimo's army not going to be able to win against that one, with Matreiuss being able to hold out, get himself to that full population, and able to just completely wipe out the Slinger Priest army of Kimo as the units are going to be slipping through here onto the back. We are going to be seeing those Migdol strongholds getting taken down very, very quickly to boot. Also, some Ballista coming in to help out with the siege. Spearmen now coming through as well. You have to remember these Spearmen have probably got themselves those Horus upgrades, so they will be able to take those Jarls down really, really quickly. But Matreiuss has got a great spread of units here at the moment. But he needs to continue to spend those resources here. 200 of 235 population. You could definitely still be at full population. Lots more Jarls coming out, but lots of Spearmen coming through as well with the help of those Tauren Axemen. Those Spearmen are getting taken down very, very quickly. Meanwhile, over here, we do have a little cheeky raid coming in onto this position. The gold mine's still got 2,200 gold in it, but we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be enough, as this center Migdol is going to be getting taken down very, very quickly to boot. Kimo, he needs to stop fighting. He needs to be the one to retreat back and get himself up the population, because he is 3,000 military resource units behind Matreiuss at the moment. Even though he's got those hard counters to these legendary Jarls in those Horus Spearmen, it's just not going to be enough. As the center of the map going to get claimed back in, town center coming up onto this position. I'd love to see another hill fort or a whole bunch of buildings just getting thrown down by Matreiuss. He's got some great walls up over here, but finishing the map up, walling up that one, coming into the corner over here and making sure that no sort of trade route in the corner can get started to like weaken Kimo even more. As we see Granite Blood coming in, this one's going to be getting the Fire Giants 40% more HP. Are you kidding me? That used to be 200 HP. Is that, how much is 40? It's quite a bit. Thank you for the raiding party, Soup. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope your stream went well. As the Fire Giant going to be slowly marching forward here and attempting to get in. That Pharaoh will get a huge amount of damage done, so Matreiuss still got to be a little bit careful. But now look at that Fire Giant, 840 HP. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's still getting absolutely taken to town by the Pharaoh, but it's still good damage. But the Pharaoh now taken out. Here we see a Fafnir coming through. Fafnir spawned for the Loki player Matreiuss. And in that moment, Matreiuss claims victory over Kimo's Ra here with some of the best Loki play you're ever going to see. That was a clinic on how to play this matchup. He prevented the second town center, forced Kimo into the villager center. He plays an incredibly defensive game with walls up, ensuring he makes a great fight. Yes, he wasted his first flaming weapons. Probably shouldn't have gone for the jugular with that second flaming weapons either, but he manages to keep himself at above surface here in this game, controls the units perfectly, and the Spearman Slinger army, which I think a lot of Norse players are struggling with here, has managed to get taken out here. And I mean, what is the reason for it? What did these legendary Jarls have that everyone else doesn't? The answer is not a lot. They just had legendary Jarls. Really, really fantastic game here from Matreiuss. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.